Hi everyone, we are going to explain the exercise from 1 to 8 of chapter 1, which is called 10 Principles of Economics, which is the book of Gregory Mankiw. So the first question they ask about: describe some of the trade-offs faced by the following. A. A family deciding whether to buy a car. So the family can buy different things. So this is the trade-off, because the money that they are going to pay or they are going to spend on the car, they can spend in different stuff. As for example, they can buy a house, or they can use the first fee for paying the house. The other, what about vacation? Maybe instead of buying the car, they can go on vacation. Or the third, maybe they can save some money. So instead of buying a car, they have the trade-off between buying a car or saving the money or putting away some money. So these are the examples that I chose for this case. The second case is a member of Congress deciding how much to spend on national parks. So it is about public spend. So in this case, the congressman has a trade-off with, for example, schools. So maybe this quantity of money the congressman can spend on school, on education. So this is one trade-off. Other trade-off is with war. So maybe this money that they are going to spend on national parks, they can use for the war, for financing the war. And the other one, maybe highways. So instead of spend on national parks, they can trade off with the highways. So the third point, the first C, 1C, a company president deciding whether to open a new factory. So the company president faces some trade-offs as the other cases. So what about the hiring? Maybe instead of opening a new factory, the company president, this guy can hire more people instead of uh, open a new factory. So the other part, it could be invest. So maybe they can invest in the stock exchange, they can invest in real estate, they can invest in other part without opening a new factory. And the third case, what about the machinery, so machinery? So maybe they can buy some machine, which could be some capital, it would be kind of a way of investment in order to produce more instead of opening the factory. The the last case is a professor deciding how much to prepare for class. So it could be, for example, my case. So how much time I'm going to devote for doing this video. Maybe if I have like children, I can go to share this time with children. So it would be my trade-off. I can share with them. But what about TV? Maybe I can go lie down and turn on my TV and watch some series, some movies, some soap operas, whatever I want. Or the last part, what about a beer? Instead of talking here, I can go and drink a beer. So this is a trade-off that I have. So if you want to know the answer, my opportunity cost is lower here because I'm here explaining, so I value more what I'm doing here. The second point, you are trying to decide whether to take a vacation. Most of the costs of the vacation, airfare, hotel, foregone wages, are measured in dollars, but the benefits of the vacation are psychological. How can you compare the benefits to the costs? So I want to approach this exercise like it represents the way to give to the vacation. So the more you pay for vacation, the more facilities that you pay for, it represents like you value more this time is like compensate the rewarding of this vacation. It means the benefits of this vacation. So it depends of the weight you give. So the mean is like benefits to the cost. They have to be at least equal. Okay, in this case the psychological revenue that I receive, it got to be equivalent to the monetary cost of this vacation, otherwise I stay at home. So it is related with the principle the cost of something is what you give up to get it. So because you value your benefits for the price you're paying. So in this case, what are you giving up? You're giving up the time, right? So in this case we're comparing, sorry, the dollars, the cost, the monetary cost. So you're giving up your money that you have saved before, okay, in order to get it. What are you getting? You're getting the vacation, you're getting the experience. So what is this cycle? So this is the psychological benefit, is the price of all trade. So this is the benefits, the psychological, and the cost of the price that you pay for the trip. And the third point, imagine you were planning to spend Saturday working at your part-time job, but a friend asked you to go skiing. What is the true cost of going skiing? So the true cost is the time that you are not going to spend working, because you are like changing. This is your trade-off, and you choose to go skiing. So this is your trade-off, and what you are where you are like missing is the time that you're going to spend working. But now suppose that you have been planning to spend the day studying at the library. What is the cost of going skiing in this case? In this case, explain. So the true cost is the time that you are not going to spend studying. It could be the case. Actually, it just like came to my mind the first case. So I may add that maybe if you receive some money for this work of your part-time job, so maybe it would be the opportunity cost you can value in dollars, because the money that you are not going to receive because you are going skiing. So this could be the true cost as well, the time, and it could be the monetary part. So we can value both cases, that the cost is the opportunity cost, but maybe in the first one I can value this in dollars. So the fourth point says you win $100 in a basketball pool. You have a choice between spending money now or putting it away for a year in a bank account that pays 5% interest. What is the opportunity cost of spending $100 now? So we know that if I spend the money now, I cannot earn the 5% interest of the money. So for this reason, we call the interest rate as the real cost of money. So in this case, the opportunity cost of spending this money now, it could be the interest that I would receive in 1 year. So this is the opportunity cost, which is the 5% interest. Okay. So the next point, the company that you manage has invested 5 million in developing a new product, but the development is not quite finished. At a present meeting, your salespeople report that the introduction of competing products has reduced the expected sales of your new product to 3 million. If it would cost 1 million to finish development and make the product, should you go ahead and do so? What is the most that you should pay to complete development? So what I think about this point. So in this thing, the first fact that we have to figure out is like we are talking about margin cost. So we know that as a manager, I would spend the 1 million. Absolutely, because we will recover, or we will have back at least 2 millions instead of losing them. So we know that, for example, without investing this 1 million, I cannot receive receive anything because I need to finish. So when I spend this 1 million, automatically I can have my expect sales, which is gonna be 3 million, so that at least I have 2 million instead of losing them. So now I can infer the last question, which is what is the most that you should pay to complete development. So I can pay until 3 million, so I can see how where I recuperate at least the additional cost. So I mean, I'm saying that in this case we're saying that the marginal income is exactly to the marginal cost. So I'll pay maximum 3 million. So the sixth is, let's consider that three managers of the Magic Potion Company are discussing a possible increase in production. Each suggests a way to make this decision. So there is the first, Harry, who says, we should examine whether our company's productivity gallons of potion per worker would rise or fall. The next, Ron, he says, we should examine whether our average cost per worker would rise or fall. And the last one, Hermione, we should examine whether the extra revenue from selling the additional potion would be greater or smaller than the extra cost. So what do you think is right and why? So from my point of view, I agree with Hermione's position because he's talking more about marginal on revenue and marginal revenue. It is related with the way to think of rational people, which they think in margin cost. So he thinks that it's just profitable if the marginal income is larger than the marginal cost. So just I can increase the production if the 1 cent that I receive for this product, for this increasing in production, this money that I receive is larger than the cost that I have to spend for this increasing in production. The 7, the Social Security system provides income for people over 65. If a recipient of Social Security decides to work and earn some income, the amount he or she receives in Social Security benefits is typically reduced. So the first question is, how does the provision of Social Security affect people's incentive to save while working? So because they know that the opportunity cost of working after 65 is higher than the opportunity cost that they have meanwhile or in the meantime they're working. Therefore, there is an incentive to save before getting retired. Absolutely, because if you know that after 65, when you work, you have like deduction of your total like retired income, so it's better to work in the time that you were, I mean, you are not going to be punished for that. So this is the incentive of saving when they are working. So the second question is, how does the reduction in benefits associated with higher earnings affect people's incentive to work past age 65? So then the incentive to work is lower than lower earnings. Why? Because they could be higher to overcome. So when you have a higher income, you have to really work more on really profitable activities to compensate the cut that you are having. Then the opportunity cost is higher. At the end, you don't have too much incentives to work. Okay. The last point is a recent bill reforming the government's anti-poverty programs limited many welfare recipients to only 2-year benefits. So how does this change affect the incentive for working? So the point is like recipients have the incentive to find a job during this period of time. Otherwise, with the anti-poverty program forever, imagine that all this program is forever, people wouldn't have any incentive to work because you have this, even if it's not too much, you don't have any incentive to work. Okay, and how might this change represents a trade-off between equity and efficiency. So in terms of equity, this anti-poverty program reduces the gap and increase equity, because people that they don't have possibility even for eating, they will be provided for money for covering these necessities. But if we think about the other part, on the other hand, we see that in terms of efficiency it decreases. Why? Because this anti-poverty program can be invested in more productive activities. So maybe government, again, they would say, okay, I'm not going to provide these people these benefits for 2 years. Maybe I'll invest in more productive in innovation, or in public facilities, okay, whatever. So this is like the trade-off, because we are working equity for the anti-poverty program, but we are losing efficiency by providing this money. So we have finished the excuse me, we have finished the first 8 exercises. I hope it has worth, or it's worth for you. And that's it. Enjoy economics and see you in the next video. Bye bye.